our stuckness, the stiffness that takes over our bodies, it silently starts to reside in the center, in the torso. The brain's very dumb to the torso. Only 2 or 3% of the sensory motor cortex is actually devoted to the torso. It's underserved. And the stiffness takes hold, and then we get all these problems out into the periphery and aches and pains. What if you hold your hips stable and just sort of begin to turn over to the left? Just notice where that stiffness sort of, the body says stop. Arch back a little. We're going to close these ribs, squeeze them down, close them. Light up the brain with that sensation of movement there, and then open again, and then that same rotated position, closing on up. And open really slow, not a stretch. The brain doesn't learn from a stretch. It won't get you anything. In fact, the system recoils after stretching. Now, twist a little bit more. How far can you go? Stop where the body says stop. Closing up. Closing. Squeeze the air out. Close that accordion. And open smooth and slow. Open. Closing again. Closing that side. Right in that twisted position. And open slow and smooth. Twist a little more. How much do you have now? With the hips facing forward, how far can you turn? Okay, let's just try that again. See, wow, if you're doing it, you might notice a real change. Because that stuckness, what the limit is not tight fascia. And I have sweat in my eyes, I just ran 5 miles. But it's not tight fascia, it's involuntary contraction that we can't sense. So these contraction movements take that involuntary tension. We're just doing a little bit more of it, so we've turned that tension into a voluntary tension. That's how we gain control of it. So here, we're just facing forward again. You're going to turn over to the right. Just twist till you get the least little bit of resistance. Where does the body say stop? And respect that limit. Past that limit, you're stretching, and the brain doesn't learn anything from a stretch. The limit in a stretch is from the spinal cord, or in relationship to the muscles. So here, we're going to take a nice breath into that accordion of the front. Exhale, close it down. Make yourself small along that line, small, and open smooth. Just feel that space of you opening. One more time, closing it up, the ribs, and open slow, and then twist a little bit more. Hips facing me, how far can you twist? Stop right there. We're going to, right in that limiting vector, we're going to take a breath in, exhale, close it down, close that accordion, and open slow. One more time. Closing up. We're using contraction to teach the brain to stop holding these involuntary tensions. Opening slow, and now twist, and how far can you go now? And imagine what that does to your running. How well can you bring that hip forward as that same side shoulder goes back in your running gait? The great runners, the Hileys, the Mebs, they have just phenomenal torso mobility of twisting of the torso. In fact, there's very few two-legged animals. Most of the two-legged animals, they're very inelegant in how they walk. Their heads just go back and forth. They're pigeons and birds. Birds can't twist their torsos at all. They're rigid. But humans, we are very special. We get to twist to balance our gait. And you see people walking side to side. That's because their brain has forgotten that they could twist. And we want to have this movement free and know that we can feel that movement go so slow. How slow would you have to go to sense it all the way from inside? Then your brain can own it and learn it. And that can really help. Liberate yourself with contraction. It's actually something called pandiculation, like a morning yawn. You used to do it as a kid. That's how the body naturally resets muscle tension. And if we do that in how we've take the tension and stress patterns of life and injury have taken over our body, you can be free from those. You can feel young again. The tension and tightness we associate with age has very little to do with age itself. It's just involuntary contraction. It feels like, what's happening? Stiffness has taken over my body. This is how, using pandiculation through these patterns, and I would be delighted to show you, you'll be able to create liberation for yourself on your own. Your system has the ability to heal itself as far as these muscle tension problems, because your system is creating that muscle tension. Muscles have no will of their own.